Hey, do you have jewelry that you're not wearing anymore? Well, maybe a watch that's just, gathering dust. What if you went to Leo Hamill's, sold it? You could use that cash to get a gun or take a pistol class, whatever. So when you sell your used jewelry, watches to Leo Hamill, not only do you get the best deal, you also support a Second Amendment guy. One of the easiest ways to support the Second Amendment is to support our partners like Leo Hamill. You can call him at 619-299-1500, or you can go to his showroom on San Diego Avenue and get awesome service right there at Leo's.
He was there last night at Gun Prom.
Yep.
So I saw a meme, guys, and it was, I've seen every Second Amendment meme, every saying, everyone. And I saw one a couple days ago that I hadn't seen. I thought it was really unique. It said, had God banned rocks after Cain killed Abel, it would have left David completely defenseless against Goliath. I liked that.
I seen that. That was
I liked that a lot, and the reason I bring that up is so the Biden administration is. It used to be that they would sell a certain amount of, they'd buy all their 5.56 for the military from. Who do they buy it from? It just fell out of my.
Manchester Federal.
The lake. Oh no!
Where's Sam when you need him?
I know somebody just like 57 listeners right now that are yelling it into the radio, and I can't think of the. Anyway, so wherever they buy it from, wherever they officially buy the ammo from, they would have surplus, and if they, they'd sell it to the civilian market, and they've stopped doing that. So the Biden administration is stopping that, and in an obvious attempt to make 5.56 more expensive and less available, which is
like gas.
Like gas. Yeah, they're really good at making things more expensive and less available. But anyway, what are your thoughts on that?
So in 2016, I had a guy that I was friends with on Facebook. He was doing this thing called the Ammo Challenge. And what you had to do is every week you had to buy ammo. Didn't matter how much it was. You had to buy some ammo. And then you put a picture of the ammo and a picture of the date on the receipt. And then you had the little ammo challenge, whatever it was, right? And he was doing this during from when Hillary Clinton was nominated until Election Day. And he's like, so if Hillary wins, you will have a stockpile of ammo that is going to get you through. And part of me is like, maybe we need to do this again, Like this could be something to that could catch on.
I think a lot of people learned that lesson over the last couple of years. I know I certainly did. I thought I had plenty, and and I thought I had because I reload a lot of especially my 9mm, and I thought, okay, I got 10,000 of these, I got 5,000 of those. That's plenty. No, it's not, and
it's not. I talked to a guy a couple weeks ago, and he's a relatively new gun guy, and he's like, I got like 250 rounds. I'm like, dude, that's a good start.
That's a weekend practice.
Right. Like, I don't know what you're going to do with that, but...
it's an impulse buy.
Right.
I better get a little ammo.
Well, exactly.
Literally a little ammo.
Well, and the reason with that, too, it's like I read an article in Guns and Ammo where the guy was saying, this happens from time to time. And he was saying that he was advocating for having about 10 years worth of ammo on hand. He said, figure out what you shoot in a year, multiply it by 10, and that's what you should have. Because, when I looked at it, I thought I had plenty, and it turns out I did not. And I got plenty of end-of-the-world ammo. What I don't have is training ammo. And when, for a while, the last couple of years, there were periods where you couldn't get anything at all. And I know we used to go, I got some ammo line buddies I wrote about before, where we were standing in line for an hour outside of Big Five every Monday morning. And they'd open the door and they'd say, okay, we got some 45, we got some 38, we got one of these, one of those. And you go in, you'd buy a box or two of whatever they would sell you. And, that's that was really shocking to me. So I think 10 years is a little bit much, but I think for sure I would shoot for 5 years worth of stuff on hand. See,
I'm actually the opposite. You said you don't have any training ammo. You have a bunch of end-of-the-world ammo. Mm-hmm. When COVID and the riots, the mostly peaceful protests happened.
Yes.
I was looking around. And I had a bunch of ammo, but look, if you have, range stuff, you're still going to be able to defend yourself. but I didn't have like true self-defense, hollow point, that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, that's kind of silly. And so from here, I made the decision. From here on out, that's all I'm buying. I'm not even buying any practice ammo anymore. I'm just, when I go to the range, I'll use, it's a little bit more expensive. You guys are all nodding your head like, yeah, Mike, a little more. But, I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at these big stacks of practice ammo, and here we're not sure if the world's about to end, and so I made the decision.
Yeah, well, again, the practice ammo. I mean, the military uses practice ammo, right? They're not allowed to use hollow points,
right?
And it seems to work just fine for them,
right.
But it's just that practicing, especially when I was shooting the matches every weekend. It's like, okay, I'm going to shoot 2 or 3 times a week or 4 times a week. I'm shooting a couple of hundred rounds each time I do that. If I can't replace that stuff, and I couldn't reload because I couldn't find primers anywhere. And, I had 6,000 of them or something, but I didn't want to use them up because I can't replace them. And that's, what I saw, the suffering is the training and the practice stuff. I had plenty around if everything really went to heck. But I mean, in terms of having enough to train with every week to, stay at a certain level, that's what I noticed I did not have.
Well, and the cool thing about that meme, it really made 2 points. One is, they were trying to take away the ammo, right? The rock. They were trying to take away the ammo, which obviously the Biden administration is trying to do. But the other part is this is something we don't talk about enough. I try to mention it. I really, truly made a decision a year or 2 ago that every time I'm talking to a reporter, I try to get this out there. The fact that between 1.5 and 2.5 million times per year, depending on how it's counted,
whose numbers you take,
it's someone uses a firearm to defend themselves from a violent attack,
and not necessarily shooting the firearm, just pulling it out and displaying it. Yeah, right. And that's true. It's used many, many, many more times to defend life than it is to take life. And they don't say that. And
we have to say that until the end. Every man, woman, and child in the United States knows it. Because that's how they take their false stats and crap. And say it often enough until it people think it's actually true, and that we got to keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it.
Well, and that's the other. We've had this discussion before too about you have the really hardcore people that it doesn't matter what you say to them, you're not changing that mind. But there's a lot of people, I think, kind of middle of the road type people that just really don't know. I mean, they don't have any family members, say, that are involved with firearms. They've never done it themselves. They don't really have any friends. They don't know anybody. So everything they learn is from movies and TV and from the news, and most of it's wrong. And, it's just, I think a lot of those people would be open to learn. I mean, that's why I think we're so successful with the shooting socials that we have. We do the Women on Target things at the club 4 times a year. And, we get brand new shooters. And, I mean, when I used to do the shooting socials, I remember having a woman that was almost in tears and shaking because she was so afraid of trying this gun thing out, and their friends or somebody had talked her into trying it out, and she was fine afterwards, and she had a great time with it. And I think there's a lot of people that you can educate, they don't know, and it's it's hard for us to get to those people. But I mean, you're right, that's what we need to be concentrating on.
We did a shooting social yesterday. We had 8 people had never touched a gun before. And paired them up with mentors, brought them in. Yesterday morning before gun prom, did the shooting social, and there's one lady in there, Brittany. The look on her face, she was so I don't know. She was very determined. She wanted to be there. She was happy to be there. When we got there in the lane, the look on her face was, I can't believe him. It was almost like she was, about ready to touch like someone's dirty laundry or something, right? And by the end of it, huge smile. She's got fingers on fingers, and she's perfect form and everything. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I love seeing that stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really good when the light bulb goes off with somebody that's new. And I can't tell you how many times I've done this. I actually had a friend of mine. One of my anti-gun friends' wives was into taking photos, so she went and I had her come with me, and she did some pictures for me, and I use them for whatever, for little promotional stuff. But my buddy said to me, he's like, "Hey, make sure my wife doesn't shoot any guns." I'm like, "All right, I'm not gonna make her do it." While we were there, that night at about 10:30, I get a phone call from him. He's like, "Dude, what'd you do to my wife?" I'm like,
Whoa.
what are you talking about?
You never want that phone call.
You don't. And so he said, my wife came back and she said she just shot some guns. You said you weren't going to have her shoot guns. I'm like, oh, I didn't. Someone else came by. They had a pink, one of the pink ARs. And she wanted to shoot that, and then he had a purple gun that she wanted to shoot. So she went and asked him if she could shoot it, and she loved it. She had a great time.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't convert her to want to get a license, but
Yet.
But I mean, she's a touch more educated about it.
But yeah, one of the things that we talked about, I think it was in February, was, and I'm big on education. Charlie's big on education. I think we all are doing the training and the advocacy work that we do. One of the things I'm like, yeah, you got to take a class, you got to learn, you got to do. Sometimes you have people that are just so apprehensive that maybe the best thing for that person is, hey, come with me, come to the range, stand in a line, point this in a safe direction, let's load one round and fire it. And that might be all it takes to kind of break that, apprehension they might have. I mean, it all depends, but here's the thing. You don't want somebody sitting in a classroom or a lecture for 4 to 8 hours waiting for the moment that they actually put a live firearm in their hands and then, have most of what you've taught them not be taught to them because they're not absorbing it. So, you have to do that little dance and feel out your students and stuff, and I just think that's an important thing to consider.
I think that's a good idea because the intimidation of firing a gun, and I'm going to say male or female because there's some guys out there that are in just as bad a shape, and that fear factor. And if you have to wait 45 minutes to hear somebody to convince you that it's going to be okay, I don't think so. Just give me the frickin' gun and let me fire it. And I would say even more than once, because it's like having a cocktail. You sip it once. I hate that. No, try it again. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. And it's almost like the same thing. It does. Think about it.
Sure.
But so that takes that fear factor. Now take them back in the room and start talking.
Well, you remember that New York Times reporter that claimed to have been traumatized after shooting. Have you guys ever had a news shooter with a bad experience? That had the experience and was just panicked afterwards?
Let's save that for after the break because that'll be a good one.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.